ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw me. I came back on stage too soon, you guys. Welcome to Wild Raven Tarot. This episode of Behind the Cards, I have somebody I'm very honored to talk to. Eron Mazza.
Where?
Is the author of the Living Lenormand. Lenormand. Well, I was having trouble deciding on which way I want to go. I'm saying both. Shut up, Selena. I brought myself back on stage too soon. That's why I was like, oh shit. Anyway, I knocked this book out in a day. It was awesome. I love the fact that you mix Lenormand with your spirituality. A lot of people separate the two. This book is not like that. But before we dig into it, I do want to ask, how you doing today, Eron?
I'm doing okay. It is a little cold here in St. Louis, a little colder here than I like. It's a balmy 7 degrees.
7.
7.
I was talking to somebody earlier. It was 10 degrees. Selena's out there with the cold. Yep. Thank you, Selena. She has just posted the link to the book on Cross Crow
Thanks,
books.
Selena.
Let's say hi to some people. More are going to be joining us as the night goes. We have Miss Tarot D. Madrina. How you doing? She is the godmother of our tarot tribe here.
She's here for the sexiness.
Bobby, that sexy bitch right here. Ollie, as in just Ali. Let's see. Selena, my Thursday night co-host, dear friend and sister. I love that woman. She has meant so much to me over the past year. I really appreciate her. All you guys have. Miss Tarot D and I talked about that before also. Jan, Silky Steel, how you doing, bub? She's going to come cut my hair next weekend.
Ooh.
Right. Joan Miranda. I know you're not a regular on my channel, but when she pops up, I have to say her name like that. It's a thing. When I'm really feeling myself, it's Joan Miranda. I'm a goober. I can't help it. All right. Now let's see who else we got. Swampy. What's up, Swampy?
Hello, Swampy.
Tapioca Thievery. Oh, that's a great name. And it's going to be relevant later. Thievery. All right. So, Amy, what up, homegirl? I was on Amy's channel this morning. All right. And as people come in, we'll say hi to them. Welcome everybody who's watching on the two different formats we got going right now, side by side and up and down. Eron, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. Little cold. I'm ready. I'm one of those people. People are like, "Oh, are you one of those people during the summer that complains about how hot it is?" And I go, "No, I'm usually excited by how hot it is." Well, I prefer the winter over the summer because you can just put more clothes on. But what about those who don't want to put more clothes on?
Right? What if we like to run around naked?
Yes.
And I'll take my dogs out in my underwear, no matter how cold it is, just because I'm too lazy to get dressed. Let's see. Yeah, we got a lot. So Eron just did an interview on Essence of the Moon's channel, Selena's channel. And that is where I first saw you. I had the book because Cross Crow Publishing sent it to me. I'm very excited about this book. As I said, you mix spirituality and Lenormand. Can you tell us about your choice to do that?
To me, I find the two inseparable. I kind of see it in entangled three ways, like divination entangled with my spirituality and also entangled with my community and community service. So I don't separate the three because it's kind of hard for me to explain as I keep making the word salad deeper and deeper.
I got time. Go for it.
I'll put it like this: my divination and my spirituality are all acts of service, and all the acts of service and things that I do are part of my spirituality. So they sort of feed into one another in my world.
Okay. And in your world, actually, no, we're going to save that for the interview we're about to do. It's question number 5. All right, everybody. So yes, Selena just posted the interview with Eron. This is your first book, right?
Yes.
It's not going to be your last book because you told me something.
It is not. It is not.
Okay. What is your next book going to be about?
My next book is going to be about the great god Hermes.
Y'all don't know. I mean, yeah, they do. I bitch about him all the time. Every other word out of my mouth is Hermes, Hermes, Hermes. But this isn't about me. This is about you. I have to keep telling myself, not about you. We're going to go ahead and start this interview, my friend, Miss Tarot D. Yes. And
yes,
all right.
we're both fanatics for Hermes.
They know how fanatical I am. It's an honor to be part of his retinue or his brigade. Put it. All right, banners. Here we are. So, for anybody who's not seen my show, Behind the Cards is an interview format that I do where I ask questions based on the major arcana. So, the first card we have is the Fool. Where would you say that your spiritual journey began? I'm going to have to turn this light out.
My spiritual journey began, I like to say, whenever I came out of the closet at 25. I was living a life that was very pleasing to my family. I was in seminary at the time. But then I just reached like this fever pitch where I was like, I had to decide whether I was going to be happy or whether my family was going to be happy. And so I picked myself. Everything really kind of happened in quick succession. I left the seminary and I'm like, see you later. I like boys. And they're like, okay, bye. And
okay.
And I could make all kinds of jokes about like seeing them later in an airport bathroom stall, but we won't go there. But it was just in that moment, I had to come to the realization that a true relationship with God or with the divine happens when you're authentic with yourself first and foremost. And it also happens whenever you're authentic with your spirits. Again, that's just another example in my life where the two feed into each other.
I get that. I really do. And I think everybody watching gets that. You need to be true to yourself. The way I worship my gods, Hecate and Hermes, is not the way that the normal Hecatean path goes. Primal. I'm one of her dogs. I'm a guardian angel on the road to protect travelers for both gods. And that's how I view things. The fact that you felt called to help it just makes my heart do a little. All right. So the next card is the Magician, and the Magician is the great manifester, but he's also the great communicator. Was it difficult telling those around you about your spiritual side? I know you said you came from a deeply religious family. How was the fallout from that?
Well, whenever I came out, my mom, because she found out I was gay first, and she didn't talk to me for 3 months, but then she met me at a TGI Fridays and was just kind of like, I just want you to go to heaven. I was like, well, if you're saying that about this, you're going to love this next part. And then eventually I came out of the broom closet to her, and she left the atmosphere by shitting herself. She left just right out of the atmosphere. Gone.
I have a very strong opinion about that on the relationship between Christ and Hermes. That's a whole nother show topic, which I would love to do with you. We could get into that.
Yes.
Uh, the Veiled Cottage Witch. See, I said her name and I summoned this bitch. This is my best friend in the world. Her and Selena and Dee are the three women in my life who keep me grounded. All right. So, the High Priestess. Was Lenormand the first divinatory tool that you used?
It's the very first one I connected with on a higher level. It's the first one I ever really flowed with, but I tried tarot, I tried the runes, I tried various other forms of divination, but I talk about it in the book. Finding the right tool for divination is like finding the right shoe that fits. Everybody's got them. Everybody has one. It's just a matter if you're willing to put in the effort and try different avenues and broaden your horizons to find out what that is.
Yeah, I look at it like singers. A lot of people can sing, but each person has their avenue that they prefer to sing in. Opera, rock, country, whatever. So you need to find your joy. It sounds so corny when you say it like that. She's like, yeah. And we will be on Wednesday again for 420 Tarot. There are a lot of Lenormand decks that confuse me. And it confuses me that it confuses me, because with Lenormand, the cards are set. It's not as fluid as tarot. Lenormand is in your face, whether you want it or not.
It's like I think I said this on Essence of the Moon show, but I compare it. It's like you have tarot, which is like a psychiatrist or a poet or something elegant of that nature, but then you have Lenormand, which is like an old lady, a waitress in a diner that has been working in that diner for 25 years and smokes 2 packs a day and calls everybody hun. She's going to give you unvarnished advice, and that's what Lenormand does.
I'm having a thought in my head on how I view different decks. Some decks are lovers. Each one is different. I want a deck that's going to grab me by the throat and slam me up against the wall and just tell me how it's going to be, But a lot of tarot decks are fluid, poetic, like you say. And that's why I got into Lenormand, because I needed some direct answers.
And it will. Sometimes you'll do readings and you'll just go, rude.
The one I like is when I do a reading and I'm like, oh, man, really? Yeah.
But that makes me so comfortable.
All right. So our next card up, we had the High Priestess, right? All right. So now we've got the Empress. In what ways do you nurture your spiritual self?
This is actually something I had to get better at, and I've just started doing that within the last 2 years. The way I nurture my spirit is I allow myself time to read a book. I know it sounds something simple as reading a book, but it's like I just pick a random spot in it and just read what I want, or I like to go on guided meditations and nature walks.
Here, that was like a watch the chat while we.
And that is that's how I feed my spirit. I also create. I like to write, obviously, and that's another way I feed my spirit, is just doing things I enjoy.
So the thing with the Empress and nurturing your spiritual self, the biggest impediment I found is other people around us having an opinion on our spiritual beliefs. Have you been given a lot of shit over your beliefs?
Mainly by family, and especially since now that I'm doing books and stuff like that about it, they are like, are you sure you want to be that kind of author? Or can't you could write fiction? Or because they're, again, deeply religious, not quite picked up on the whole, not being very religious and being more authentic kind of thing I mentioned earlier.
Okay. I just found that button. I didn't know what it does. It made me disappear.
You'll be pleased to know I kept it pushing. I was kind of like, ooh.
I was like, ooh, where'd it go? The next card is the Emperor. Do you believe that a spiritual life requires strict rules, or is it inherently fluid?
Absolutely no strict rules. I do not believe in a designated dogma, especially whenever it comes to paths like witchcraft, occultism, things like that in general. I don't believe in strict rules whenever it comes. I believe in guideposts. I believe in basic things like treating people with respect, treating your circle mates with respect. I believe in things like that. But as far as like, don't eat a cheeseburger or don't wear two different kinds of cloth, things like that, that's just not for me. And I believe healthy spirituality is something that is inherently fluid. It adapts. And to me, that's a lot more practical in life than governing your life by strict rules and things like that. I believe in being able to adapt to situations, find your true pleasure in being able to feel like you can be authentic with yourself. That is something that should be practiced.
Spirituality is like underwear. Everybody has their preference. I wouldn't expect somebody else to wear my underwear.
Unless that's your thing.
Fit right. Unless that's my thing, which takes me back to the 90s. Let's see what we got here in chat. Miss Tarot D had posted that a friend of hers said they couldn't do Lenormand because it was so much in your face, no nonsense. It's interesting that we're both saying the same thing. I think everybody who does Lenormand and tarot says the same thing. There's 36 cards as opposed to the tarot cards, and they're very direct. I have this deck that was sent to me by Madame Maru. This is the Memento Mori. It's also 36 cards. And what I want to do is lay these oracle cards down and then do the grand tableau and see how it works together.
The grand tableau is kind of fun. I really only do them on New Year's just because it's exhausting to do. I don't offer them to like clients or anything like that unless it is around New Year's. Maybe I'll throw yours up into mine. Throw theirs into mine.
Shoot, I lost my stuff again. All right, here we go. Card number 5. This is the one I was waiting for. The Hierophant. Do you follow any particular path or religion?
I am a Hellenic polytheist and very Hermes heavy, very, very Hermes heavy. And I am about to be an initiate in the fairy tradition.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So I have to ask, what drew you to Hermes?
Here's my story about how I met the great god Hermes. I mean, I was always sort of drawn to him because, and this has just become the Hermes show.
It always has been. Anybody who watches my channel knows that it's going to happen.
And I'd always had a passing affinity with him. I would leave water and candles, but the true connection happened the night I told my husband of the time that I wanted a divorce. And I was like, it was storming really bad outside, lots and lots of lightning. And I was kind of like, if you're really there, I really need you to show up right now and help me sort all this out, because I just turned my whole life upside down. And I remember out of the corner of my eye, there was just some like visage, like dark visage in the corner right after I said that phrase. And it was right in my peripheral. And I just felt like this peace to say, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. And that was it. But the fact that I reached out to Hermes and he basically showed up in the room, I was like, okay, I can, you got me. I'm yours.
May I share my story?
Sure.
I was a teenage runaway. I stole a car when I was 15 and hit the road with a friend of mine. We were going to go see his girlfriend in Arizona. We were leaving from California. When we get to the desert, there's an old man in a suit, I mean, just covered in sweat. So I'm not going to leave him out there. We picked him up and gave him a ride into town. And he kept saying, oh, bless you guys, bless you guys, bless you guys. And he was just really cool. And I didn't think much of it. Well, when we dropped him off, my friend told me he didn't know where this girl lived. He basically came to Arizona and was, I don't know what he planned to do, knock on doors to find her or what, but he had no address. So I was flipping out. I'm like, okay, we need to find somewhere to park. I'm turning around. I made a few turns. And he says, that's her RV. And I was like, okay, at least I know what we're looking for. How do we make that? And I'm freaking out still. He says, no, stop. That's her RV. We had driven directly to her house. It is my firm belief that that old man we picked up was an avatar of Hermes, was a messenger of some kind of Hermes, if not Hermes himself, because he does walk among men.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, the oldest representations of Hermes, he's not the lit young god. He's an older man with a beard. So that's him. That's my man. I'm fully confident that that was true. And it's happened a couple more times throughout my life, which has just led me to believe that Hermes is there. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Fuck you guys. That's just the way it is. But you had mentioned your husband.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us to our next question. The Lover's card. How have your romantic relationships been shaped by your spirituality?
Well, I would always do readings before I deeply considered somebody. And I would also tell them I'm a witch. My craft comes before anything in my life. And anybody that I date or would date just had to be okay with that. I dated some guys who would try to sort of push me away from it or sort of try to keep me distracted. And yeah, it didn't last very long. So I definitely have let my spirituality shape my relationships. And then I'm in a throuple now and it is going swimmingly. And I just listened to my spirit in that situation. It just felt right. It just felt authentic. And this is what happens.
My dad once woke up with someone yelling Hermes in his ear, the ear that was on the pillow while sleeping on his side. You know, Hermes deals with dreams, so it's not surprising.
He shepherds them through the gates.
You say things like that, and I get, my nipples get hard. It's just, I'm so excited to have somebody to talk to. Our next card is the Chariot. Now, how do you balance your light and dark impulses to stay on track? It's not easy writing books. It's not easy performing large things like this. How do you keep yourself focused? How do you balance to move forward?
Well, there's lots of crying. No, I'm just joking. I'm a Virgo. And I like to say from 7:30 to 6:30, I am going to be writing. And my goal is X amount of words.
That's something I never consider. Okay, you're going to laugh at me. I've always wanted to be more structured in the sense that setting schedules for myself to do things, do this, do that, work on my Oracle deck. But I sleep late. It never occurred to me to do it at night. Okay, so don't judge, you guys.
If I could never write. I'm not one of them early morning writers. You know, people who wake up at like 5:30 and they're just. Oh, I'd be over the computer, but I would be over the computer, asleep.
That's what I thought I had to do. Wake up and head straight to the office, which this is my office. I don't usually start my day till about 2 o'clock. I like to sleep late.
That's the best.
Why? Because I can. So let's go back to this. Our next card deals with the. Wait, I'm not going to skip over that. You mentioned being in a throuple
Uh-huh.
with the lover's card. So, how did that come about?
So I've been with one of my current partners, Jared, for 5 years this year. And we went out to the bar one night, and this guy named Blake, he danced across the dance floor, started coming over and talking to us. And before we know it, we realized we'd hung out with him almost every night for a week, going on 2. And I said, it really feels like we're dating, Blake. And Jared was like, yeah, it really does. And we just go, I guess we're in a throuple now.
And how did Blake handle it?
He was like, this is cool. Oh,
this is cool. See, that's the goal. For me, it always has been. My current husband, we've been together for 26, 7, something like that years. I still haven't decided if it's going to work out, but
well,
we'll see.
One might be led to believe.
Right. He's an awesome dude, but I'm glad there's only one of him.
Oh, goodness.
The thought of 2 men is both titillating and scary. That's a lot of man stuff. A lot of and being a gay man, we can get kind of deep.
Yes, we can.
More in touch with our relationships than straight couples. But
it was what was it? Every time somebody asks me, "Oh my gosh, you're in a throuple? Why?" I go, "I'm a glutton for punishment."
Shut up. That is the goal. One of these days, we've never even had a threesome, so let's see. Timmy, what's up? Raven Tarot meditation. The 28th year is when you're really sure. I'll let you know.
That's funny.
We're in. We're together. We're stuck with each other. And I would have it no other way. All right. So, Banners, there you are.
Hi, Banners.
We are back to the strength card. Where do you find your inner strength? You say you're focused and you set rules for yourself. How do you stick to this? What do you do when you start to flag?
I think about what life was like before I had those rules. And then I go, ooh, let's not go back to that. and then I start to buckle down and get back on my rules again.
Okay. I like it when I'm working with Selena because I can talk and she watches the chat and everything. What has been your biggest stumbling block to organizing things like that for yourself?
My biggest stumbling block is the Nintendo Switch and Pokemon ZA and the show Naked and Afraid. Those are my stumbling blocks.
That Naked and Afraid show is a crack up. Some of the people I'm so excited for, and others I'm like, would you just die of starvation already?
Why can't get the old Oregon Trail treatment and you have died of dysentery?
Right. Cannibalism it is. It's a cool show. I could never do that, so I have mad respect for those people. I just couldn't. No. The first time I heard a sound in the night, I'd be like, yeah, I'm out. Later. Deuces.
I'd get off the truck. I wouldn't even get naked. I'd just be like, I'm tapping.
Selena's cousin was on Naked and Afraid. No way.
Who was your cousin?
Right? Who is your cousin, girl? I'm going to tell my cousin. My husband. My cousin. Well, you posted in there. I'm going to ask the next question. So our next question is the Hermit. And the Hermit card, how do you spend your alone time? Is this the Nintendo and
hmm This is the Nintendo Switch, but usually a lot of the times it's me sitting up setting up in my room, and like I said, I like to read. So I'm probably reading one of the 3 books I'm reading at the moment.
what are you reading?
Right now, I am reading Fetch Work by Blake Malway. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me, Blake, if you're watching this. But
Fetch, like in the spirit?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and I'm also reading. I think it's the new book by David Salisbury called Meeting the Watchtowers, or it's his book about the Watchtowers that just came out, and it's really good so far.
Okay.
Same promotion. I'm just
So
kidding.
what's the third book?
My third book is Ensoling the Effigy.
So it sounds like all of your reading material is about expansion and discovering. A lot of reading material is looking back or staying here. Yours is. It's just the way I look at things. I wanted to get an idea of what you read. I like fantasy novels.
That's so cool. It's
The
kind of like your
Dark
brain floss,
Jewels.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The Dark Jewels trilogy. I don't know if anybody's ever read it, by Anne Bishop. Fantastic books. All right, so we have the death card. Nope, we have the world card. My bad. What the hell happened? The wheel. There you are. I said world. The Wheel of Fortune. Can you share a significant turning point in your spiritual journey for us?
A significant turning point. I've got one coming up. I will be initiated in Anderson into the fairy tradition.
How did that come about?
I got into fairy. This was another turning point. In 2020, I got COVID really, really bad, like 104-degree temperature. Didn't know night from day, all this crazy stuff going on. And I was out for like 3 months. And I was hallucinating. I was seeing these different visions. I was seeing, because it's states like that really can take you beyond the veil. You slip and you go beyond the veil whenever you're feverish or whenever your brain reaches a certain kind of wavelength. But where was I going with that? I took that as sort of an initiation. My near-death experience was sort of like my initiation into the path of the Fae, into the path of working with the fairy. And it's but then I started reading how closely correlated the good neighbors are to the land of death and to the other side. And some people think whenever we pass away, we actually become the Fae or the fairies. It's just 2 peas in a pod, death and fairies.
For me in the 90s, it was all about life and the fairies. I have never been called in that direction, but when we moved into this house, there was a green circle in our backyard, about 1.5 feet. And later on, a few months later, it was a toadstool circle, or maybe it was toadstools first, but in the same spot, there's a ring there. So
a fairy ring.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything more than welcome, blessings, acknowledge them, and that's it. I don't know how to work with the Fae. My knowledge of the Fae comes from reading Meredith Gentry books. She's a character. She's half Fae.
Your
great
fantasy
books.
Was it one of your? Is it? I think I've heard of that series, but I can't think of the
Anne
name.
Bishop again. It's her. I love her work. I really do. When I was another close to death time back in whenever these books came out, I wrote her a fan letter because I was in bed, and she sent me some books and bookmarks and stuff.
So cool.
Yeah, so I really Meredith Gentry is great. You read it, Tapioca. Nasty book. She fucks everything in that.
All the good books too.
Right? Well, her other series is the same way. A lot of. All right. So now we've got the Justice card. The Justice card is one of the cards that asks us if our lives are truly in balance. If you could go back and change one thing in your life, what would you change?
I would grow up. I wouldn't wait till I was 40 to really have strong boundaries with people. I wouldn't fold to people as I did in the past. You know, I would enforce my boundaries and respect myself a lot more in that capacity.
I'm hearing you would have recognized your own power sooner.
Yes.
I've thought about that, but I don't think I'd be me in the way I am now if I changed anything. I needed to have my face on the cheese grater to learn those lessons. And as painful as it was necessary for me. The Hanged Man. Have you had to sacrifice anything to get where you are now? That's not the Hanged Man. This is the Hanged Man.
Yes, I have sacrificed time with friends. I have sacrificed hobbies. I have sacrificed. I've even sacrificed some relationships, but it was worth it for me to get those pieces of myself back. You know what I mean?
I do.
And it was worth it to just have peace of mind, especially in this day and age. Peace of mind is more precious than gold.
Yeah, it is. Knowing that I'm not living the life I used to. When you said that earlier, that's kind of what one of my motivations is. I'm not going back to that life, and you can't make me.
Me too. And sometimes it's just like you have to have that. You have to look yourself directly in the mirror and say that we're not going back there.
Yeah. Mine is really. I'll look at myself. Really? You're gonna do this shit? Really? But I know what I mean, so it's okay.
I know. I know exactly what you mean.
What I mean. So, the Death card is our next card. How do you approach change and transformation in your life? I at times do it kicking and screaming.
Oh, honey, same. I am working very hard on becoming a lot more mutable. Whenever things like that happen, just whenever change occurs, whenever something comes out of left field, I used to just let it just knock me on my ass. But now whenever something like that, something out of left field happens, I have to remind myself I can do hard shit.
Yeah, sometimes we have to be our own cheerleaders. It's the only way it works.
Mm-hmm.
Temperance card is our next card, and I love the Temperance card because it's a survivor's card. Was there ever a point in your life where you just didn't think you were going to make it, where you see those people in the movies, I can't do it? Did you ever have one of those moments?
Yes, and it was whenever I was really sick with two times actually. It was when I was really sick with COVID. I didn't think I was going to survive it. My roommates were trying to figure out what to do with my stuff if I passed away. So that's sort of
scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. They said we're trying to figure out what to do with your stuff in case you die. I'm like, thanks, roommates.
Right?
I didn't think I was going to make it, but then something on the inside said, "Oh, yes, you will. You just got to take it one day at a time." And that's how I dealt with whenever I was in an extremely abusive relationship. I mean, this person was physically abusive. They would hit. They pull they pulled an earring out of my ear at one point, and I didn't think I was going to make it out of that. But
and where are they buried now?
Which part?
Love it.
But it is. I will say this: after I managed to get away from them, they suffered a heart attack not long after I managed to escape them. Didn't do no magic, didn't do anything, didn't know about it at that point, and my first thought was now is like, man, the ancestors really didn't like you.
You ain't just whistling Dixie there. Yeah. I'm not going to go into it because this is about you, but I really have opinions on that too. The devil card. What was the hardest thing that you had to break free of? Was it a relationship, a thought form, a thought pattern?
It was definitely a combination of a relationship I really shouldn't have been in, because the person like dumped and got back with me again like 7 times. And I eventually just had to say enough is enough.
Enough. I can't. Sorry.
No, I was like, I'm sitting here. Oh God, what song is that? Oh God, I should know this. See, it's my diagnosed at 7 ADHD.
I do it too.
I went from telling my story to trying to figure out what song was on.
I shouldn't do that, I know, but I can't help it.
But yeah, I had to decide enough was enough and actually mean it. And once you mean it, it is time to go.
I've been lucky. When I was younger and told people I was a witch, it was more of a, that's nice. They didn't really believe me. But as I got older and they realized I'm serious about it, my friends changed. Other people left my life and the right people entered my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried about him because he's uber Christian.
Oh boy.
And I'm a witch. So we started off the same thing. He was like, that's nice, dear. And as time went by, he realized, oh shit, when I was leading the coven, I think is when my last coven is when he realized, oh, okay. So when I found the coven I'm in now, he was leery. He again would prefer I didn't, but he's not going to stop me. And he doesn't like any of my spiritual or witchy friends because people have tended to hurt me or take advantage of me in the past. So he's been very cautious. But meeting Selena or meeting Joey and hearing me talk about her, Selena and Ramon, Miss Tarot D, he's loosening up. Now he's like, maybe you should call Selena. Call Joey. Ask her, So
that's cool.
Yeah. I got lucky. And I'm glad you got lucky and are now in a happy place with your relationships. I got to tell you, that's the goal, though. One of these days, before I die. What were you saying?
I was about to say, if you do get in a throuple, just make sure it's somebody that brings the same joy to your heart as your other partner does.
I'm going to have to get a witch. So I'll have a Christian and a witch, and I'll be right in the middle going like this. Tower. Yeehaw. The tower describes a moment your world came crashing down unexpectedly. Looking back, was that destruction necessary for your current foundation? This is like what I was talking about.
Yeah, I'd say the thing that really kind of shook me was whenever my dad passed away. And just because my brother called me and he was like, in his oh so eloquent fashion, hey, Dad's dead. And I go, no, he's not. He's like, yeah, he is. I'm sitting here right next to him on the floor.
Shit.
And I was like, oh my God. And just in that moment, I had that moment like you see in the movies where you go off on this whole other entire scene.
Right.
And meanwhile, the person is actually just sitting there on their phone like this.
Right.
And then you just hear the person going, hello, hello. It was just that entire moment. I was a dad person. I definitely adored my father. He was an artist. He was a carpenter. He was a poet. He was all kinds of things. And just whenever he passed away, but like later in life, he started making wrong decisions and fell in with the wrong group and stuff like that. And to get the call that he had passed away was sort of my moment, like, oh my gosh, he's gone. And that really made me make some changes for my health. Like, I don't drink anymore.
Me neither.
And that's that's about it. I don't drink because I think that's what truly got him at the end.
I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I smoke weed, but that's for nausea and sanity. The Tower card is also related with the energy of Mars and knives. So it is about cutting things out of your life that you don't need anymore, excuse me, or don't serve us.
Mm-hmm.
So do you view the Tower card as scary?
Not not as much as I used to, especially as I've gotten older, because I know to get back up again, you got to fall down in the first place.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Let's see, we had the Tower. Now we've got a little hope going on. We've got the Star. Now, the Star card. Looking back, who would you say was your guiding light? Was it your father, or was it other people, or was it many people?
I would say one of them was definitely my dad. Another one was somebody who I came to call my Uncle Joe. He took me in. If he hadn't taken me in, I would have been living on the streets. And who else was it? Who else was a guy? My grandmother, definitely. I miss my grandma every day. She helped bring me up, and she was there whenever she took me. She took me coming out the best.
Mine too. She hooked me up on a date once.
That's a real grandma right there. My grandma, because everybody in the family was like, "Don't tell grandma; she'll be mad. She'll hurt your feelings." Blah blah blah. And then she asked me on the phone, "Why can't you ever keep a girlfriend?" And then I just blurted out, I was just feeling wild, and I said, "Because I'm gay." And she goes, "Uh-oh." Well, now everything makes sense. Why didn't anybody want to tell me? And she used to own bars, and she used to own other drinking establishments. And she's like, "Why would you think I wouldn't? Why do you think I'd be upset? I used to own
Sounds
bars."
like she understands people.
Mm-hmm. Grandma did. Grandma could see him coming from Patricia Vaughn.
You did a good job, Patricia. My grandma was Elvira Vera. I miss her every day. She was an awesome, badass bitch. She was the one that taught me how to throw a punch.
Oh, wow.
She was the one that taught me how to block a punch. She taught me how to roller skate, jump rope. And I miss my grandma. Thank you for bringing that memory back to me. That was awesome.
I definitely know she's one of my guardian spirits because she is ferocious.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing with witches. Death ain't going to stop us from being with our families. And they may be dead, but they're still part of my practice.
She told anyone that dated me, we'll be okay as long as you don't cross my grandson.
Love it. Yeah, my grandma worked at a factory, Mattel, and
oh wow,
she had this guy that worked with her, and she described him when I was young, and I was like, okay, sure, let's do this. He showed up on a motorcycle with muscles and a leather jacket, and I was like, thank you, Grandma. Thank you so much. Thank you, Grandma. Awesome time. I got to ride, bitch. All right, so the moon card is our next card. The moon can be a scary card at times. What's your greatest fear, either real or imagined? Mine is zombies.
Yeah, I used to be terrified of zombies, but not so much anymore. I can't think of anything supernatural like the zombies or werewolves or anything that really terrifies me. What terrifies me right now is humanity.
That's why the zombie movies scare me. It's how humanity reacts during the zombie plague. They turn evil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that scares me. Not getting eaten up. The zombies obviously scare me, but
at least you can see them coming.
Yeah. Humanity scares me. I blame Grandma, who's my kind of chick. So, when you're dealing with things that scare you, how long does it take you to decide to face them?
Usually it's a moment by moment thing, but I've become older and a lot more stubborn. So that really only means I'm scared of it for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm just kind of like, fuck this thing. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna rip it a new asshole or something like that.
I think of what I would tell my clients and my tribe. Um, and if I'm telling them that, I have to live by that. So
Mhm.
if it means facing my fears, I'm going to do it. If it means cutting somebody loose, I'm going to do it. I am the most important person in my life.
That part. It's just about deciding that like I mentioned earlier, I got to a point where I decided, you know what? I'm allowed to have the same life and the same comforts as I see everybody else, including the people who used to like to try to walk all over me. I'm allowed to have that same level of comfort. And then once I started informing them of that, just like in your situation, my relationships all changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was raised in the generation of children should be seen and not heard. We were little servants. We brought the adults their things. And we were well behaved children, but that was because my dad was abusive and we didn't step out of line. Um,
Mm.
I don't know how we went down that road, but family can be complicated, you guys. Oh, yeah, fear. How do you handle facing your fears? Most of the time, I'm pretty good about facing them, but sometimes I take my friends. It takes my friends to encourage me.
I'm the same way. If something really scares me, I have to take a moment and ground and center and just remember that thing that in front of me that scares me is just a bump. It's just a speed bump on the road of life. And the only way that you're going to be able to deal with it is you could make things real complicated and go off track, or you can just face it head on and just take your time getting over it.
So, yeah, you pretty much said everything right there. I love that. Now, our next card is the Sun card. What brings you joy and how do you celebrate your successes? When your book went into publication, that must have been a moment for you. That must have been.
Oh, I ate. I ate like I had never eaten before. I am food motivated. If I was a house pet, the vet would have that in my file. Food motivated. And that's one way I celebrate my success and something that really brings me joy. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was watching two people at my job interacting, and I could tell it was an authentic interaction. There was lots of eye contact and smiles, and just knowing that people have their people who they can be themselves around, and that people like that are in the world, who you don't have to put on airs for, or what bring me joy.
I understand what you're saying about people. It gives me comfort to know that there's good in the world with everything that's going crappy. And if I could light the fires for people to be good people, I'm going to do that so that they can go out and light other fires for people to be good people. It's a
Mm-hmm.
small thing, but it's my part of helping the world. Um, I know there was more to that question. I changed out a couple of my questions last night because I knew you were going to be here. Um,
The deck is stacked against me. No, I'm joking.
it was pretty much stacked totally in your favor. So we've got the Judgment card next. If you were called to account for your life today, what would you say is your true calling or purpose?
My true calling and purpose is to be of service to my community with my craft and even with my divination skills. And whether that is doing things magically or it is doing things in the more mundane and physical realm, my life purpose is service. Building the world I want to live in.
That's perfectly said. That is exactly part of the motivation.
Mhm.
If it's not there, create it.
Yes.
If you want to do something and you can't see your lane, make a lane. I was terrified when I started doing YouTube because I'm abrasive, I'm foul mouthed, I smoke weed, I work with darker gods. And I didn't know how it was going to go, but I'm attracting my tribe and
Mhm.
the other people that say I don't give a shit. Uh, so that makes me happy, knowing that I'm part of a chain that's trying to make the world better is awesome. Um, the world card is our last card. I was looking to see if there's another question for the judgment. Um, it had to do with Phoenix energy, but you pretty much already covered the world. The world. It's a great big world out there. Where would you most like to visit and why?
I would really like to visit. I would like to go to Italy and go see a lot of my cousins. And I would like to go to Rome. Of course, I want to see the temples. I want to find the Hermes. I want to go to Greece and find the Hermes and everything. Yeah, I just want to nerd out all over the Grecian and the Roman empires.
I don't know if I could handle it. I'd see my first term and fall over. I don't know how I'd react. That is so exciting that I'm behind that dream. That's something I get behind. I want to see Hecate's temple that's being revamped.
That's so
I
cool.
want to see all this stuff. I want to visit Sardinia. Sardinia, it's Italian. Sicily, a lot of people talk about Sicily. Greece.
Yes.
I do work with the Greco-Roman pantheon, but Greece is where my focus is. That's where I want to go. I want to see all the places, all the islands from all the stories I've heard about my whole life.
That is definitely amazing.
Does anybody have questions for Eron? If you do, please post your questions. Throw an emoji on there so I see it. This is your opportunity. Ask about his life, his path, or his deck, or his book. You're accepted for who you are. I am now. Thank you. You guys accepted me. And if you go back and look, I started my channel 2 years ago, but I only got active on it last year because the first year I didn't think anybody would give a shit. I didn't think anybody would want to. Mysterio D wants to know how big it is. Your book.
Well, I was about to say, well, I am half Italian. I'm not going to tell you which half, but
Lord have mercy. Okay. It's not an incredibly huge book. It does have what I was hoping it has, combinations. He's got a section in here about pulling cards and reading them together, different spreads. This is the Grand Tableau spread, you guys. It's a huge one.
Every single card.
Yeah, if you teach me the Grand Tableau, help me work it out, I'll teach you my 22 card tarot spread.
Sounds like you got a deal.
When I do those spreads, it usually is for past life readings. People want to understand what they are carrying with them from a former life. Thanks for being here, Paige. I didn't even see you there. Holy shit, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, love? Serious, it's been months. All right. I don't see a lot of questions for Eron, so I think we pretty much covered everything. Do you have a title for the next book?
The working title, I believe, is, what was it? The Many Guises of Hermes, and it's about like building a relationship with the trickster god.
I love it.
Going to be covering lots of thaumaturgy, learning how to build relationships with spirits. So yeah, pretty cool.
Oh, here it is. What is your book Behind the Cards about? No, his book isn't Behind the Cards. His book is The Living Lenormand or Lenormand. Um, my show is called Behind the Cards. I don't think I'd put that as a title of a book. I've thought about what I would name my own book if it was about my story. I can't come up with anything. I'll leave it to the general public after my demise. Miss Tarot D, I'd love to visit your homeland. This isn't about that, bitch. We're talking about. Just kidding. Eron, I want to thank you for joining us today. Please stick around backstage. I want to chit chat with you for a moment. Everybody else, tomorrow is Tuesday, and I will be on with Denise Fletcher, who is in the crowd. And I believe it's at 4 o'clock Eastern. Let's see. Let's find out. I left my book in the bedroom. 12 o'clock my time, so 2 o'clock Eastern. 2 o'clock Eastern. Bobby, you didn't ask my question about the hubbies. I missed it. I'm glad you did. Oh, here we are. No. I'll let you handle this one.
They are not, but they are very supportive. Very, very, very supportive. They buy me witchy stuff for Christmas and my birthday. And if they see something that just absolutely screams me, they get it.
My husband has never gotten involved with my witchy stuff ever. Nothing. The only time he gets involved is he'll check YouTube to see if I'm still live. That's it. He came home one day and brought me the Horror Tarot Mini. And I was like, oh, it's a new dawn. It's a new day. But that's the last time he ever brought me a deck. I comment above. You were enthralled. An excellent conversation. I do. Oh, thank you. He has been a fascinating person to talk to today. Let me skip back down. Well, you shouldn't have ordered that one. You should have ordered. I'm just kidding. I'm going to put, after we're done here sometime tonight, I'm going to put the link for your book on my website. I have a page called The Midnight Market where people can go and buy from people in our community or people that have been on my show. So that will be on there, and hopefully that will work out for you. Did Bobby just say that you will be interviewed next? Didn't I just mention that? No, we're not. I'm not interviewing her tomorrow. We're reading together. I thought about reading. Oh yeah, I didn't send you the link. Sorry. It's created. I just haven't sent the link. I'll do that right now. What's up, Cersei? I have 2 cats named Cersei and Arya.
Cute little fur babies.
They're vicious attack kittens. Bobby interviewed Denise. She is amazing. I know. We're going to interview. I'm going to interview her. In fact, Denise will, if you're willing. I believe I have next Monday open. If you want to, we'll talk later. I'll message you. But right now, this is Eron's time. So back off. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank everybody who subscribed. Eron does not have a YouTube channel. I think he should. I think that you work with Hermes, the god of merchants and deals. Get out there every way you possibly fucking can. All right, everybody. Thank you. You stick around backstage, okay? Everybody else, I'll see you tomorrow when on with Denise Fletcher. Wednesday, I'll be on with Joey Potts, the Veiled Cottage Witch. And Thursday, I'll be on with Selena, Essence of the Moon, for our Behind the Moon show. Oh, no, Selena won't be there. My bad. She's in Gettysburg this week. So Bridget will be there with me this week, filling in for Selena. All right, everybody. Love you. Love you all. Gotta go. You stick around. And remember,